Hello people, I've seen 4 people have joined, so just ping a hi in the comment box so that I can know your names. Hi. So we'll just wait for another 1 or 2 minutes and let other people join in, and then we'll start. Hi, I can see the name, it's VK. Hi. Hi Mona. Okay, so hi Nav. So now that we've 10 people, let's start with this live. So hi everyone, my name is Ishika and this is my first live with WeShow.live. So make sure you and other your friends download the app and join this session. So today we will be learning resin art. What is resin art? What products are required for resin art and how we make it. So we'll be making it practically. So make sure you note down your steps and you know what to do and when, so that you don't mess up your resin art when you do it. And I'll be telling you all the tips and tricks of resin art today. So first of all, is there anyone who has heard about resin art? What is it? So just comment it down. So resin art is one of the art forms which does not require any canvas or any brushes to do it. It is one of the most unique arts you'll ever see. So resin art are basically, resin is a chemical which hardens itself when we mix a hardener in it. So it takes the form of a plastic. Now this is one of the most unique art form which is becoming very popular these days, because first of all, this is so unique because one resin art cannot be replicated again ever, because the resin has its own property to mix colors inside itself. So you can never ever replicate one resin art. You can never create a same exact copy of a resin art. So beautiful. Thank you so much. Now so now we'll start with what products are required for resin art. First of all, we have this is called a resin and this is called a hardener. Now the brand I am using for resin is the Art Pavilion resin, which is an all-purpose crystal clear resin. Now there are many brands जिनके resin आते हैं. So the two brands that I would advise you, one would be this Art Pavilion resin and the other one would be the Hexen resin, because from my personal experience these are the only two forms of resin which do not either give a yellowish tint to your resin art, and also they are one which gives no bubbles. One thing about resin is that when we mix it, it gives a lot of bubbles, but we need to make sure that our resin art is absolutely crystal clear. How can I reach you? You can reach me on my Instagram handle, that is aesthetish.in or ishika.padva_ now. So continuing with this. Now the resin is usually mixed into ratios, and different brands have different ratios. For this Art Pavilion brand, the ratio for mixing would be 2:1. That means 2 parts of resin and 1 part of hardener. If we talk about the Hexen brand, that the ratio for that is 3:1. That is 3 parts of resin and 1 part of hardener. So you need to make sure that whatever brand you're buying, make sure that you know about the ratio, because the two most important things for resin art is, first is the ratio you mix into it, and the second is how you mix your resin. The process of mixing resin decides whether your resin art is going to be absolutely perfect, or it might get sticky or it might be a little liquidy. Second thing you need is your weighing scale. Weighing scale is very important because we do not want to mess up with the volume of the resin we are mixing. 2:1 ratio means 2:1 ratio. If we are mixing 10 grams of resin, we need to mix 5 grams of hardener. We cannot mix 6 or 7 grams. No, you'll have to mix 5 grams of hardener, or else you are going to end up messing your resin art. Second of all, now we need to take precautions. First of all, resin is a very harmful chemical. Make sure you always have your gloves on your hand. Putting the putting of resin on your hand might burn your skin, and if you put on the mixture of resin and hardener, it'll get stuck onto your skin forever, so you can never take that risk. Second of all, make sure you're wearing an apron. It is very, very, very important to make sure that you're wearing an apron so that you don't mess up your clothes. Third of all, we need to make sure that we are wearing a face mask. This is very important. Resin smell can be very, very, very harmful. It might get up to your head and it might give you very, very, very bad headache. So make sure you're having a mask. You might end up looking like a surgeon for sure, but you need to take all these basic precautions. Now, next thing what we need is either a lighter, or what we need is a heat gun. Heat gun is bit expensive, so the cheaper alternative what we have is lighter, or you can even use a blowtorch. That is not too cheap, but yet cheaper than the heat gun. Second of all, you can use many different flowers, pressed flowers, dry, but make sure whenever you're putting flowers in your resin, you're putting dry flowers. The very fresh flowers that you use, that will never cure in resin, and your resin art will end up being sticky. So we do not want a sticky resin art. Next thing what we need is rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol avoids bubbles while a resin is curing. So you can get this very easily on any medical store. Rubbing alcohol is basically when we go out for getting injections, they rub a liquid on our hand with cotton. So that is called rubbing alcohol. You can very easily find. Is it like Fevikwik? No, it's not like Fevikwik. It is basically, one thing is plastic. Now what we make plastic. So we mix resin and we mix hardener. Hardener is like a substance which holds the resin together. So when we mix it, it becomes a very, very, very beautiful art. So now we are going to make a very simple bookmark today. So now let's start with our resin art. Now I'll take you to my artboard. So let me just shift my camera. So now you can see this is our mold. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to very carefully, we need to clean our mold. Make sure there is no other substance over there on your mold. Cleaning your mold is very, very, very important. Using an unclean mold will mess up your resin art, and as I said, we do not want that. Now, the very first step is we are going to mix our resin. So first of all, we are going to take a weighing scale. Now with this weighing scale, I'm going to turn it on. So make sure when you put your glass on your weighing scale. Now the glass also has its own weight, and this weight is being shown here. So make sure you press on the tar button and you remove the weight of the glass. Now I am going to mix this. I'm going to mix our ultra clear purpose resin. So I'll be putting some amount of resin into it. As you can see, for bookmark, we don't need like 50 or 60 grams of resin. We need a very small quantity of resin for this. You can see how we're pouring this from the bottle. So now we see that we have approximately 46 grams of resin. Now we'll mix the half of it. That is, we'll mix 23 grams of hardener because we are using the 2:1. So now I'm going to remove the weight of the resin, and now I'm going to mix the hardener into it, which is 23 grams. So now that I have my resin with me, now we are going to go ahead with the process of mixing our resin. Now, just to remember one thing, that one of the most important things is to mix the resin. If we do not mix our resin properly, it will surely mess up your resin art. We will be using an ice cream stick. You can use small glasses like these two, but because I need to show you the process, I'm using a transparent one. Now we'll mix our resin very carefully. You need to mix your resin for approximately 3 to 4 minutes. And now I'll tell you how to mix your resin. Make sure you are not mixing it too fast like this, because the faster you mix your resin, the more bubbles you'll end up creating. Make sure you're mixing it very slowly and very calmly. Now, resin gets stick to the ends of the glasses, and we do not want that. We need to hold our glass like this, put our ice cream strip and scrape off the endings. You'll have to scrape off your endings properly, so that the resin that is thick on the sides of the glasses that gets mixed too. Because if we will not mix our resin properly, the unmixed part will end up being very, very, very sticky on the glass. And when we'll put on the unmixed part on our mold, that will end up being sticky and we cannot ever use it. We cannot use that Resin Art ever again. So now that I have mixed it properly, we are going to take our mold and we are going to put. Now this is the mold for a bookmark. Now you can also see that there's a dot here. Now this dot over here is for us to mix, is for us so that we can later put on a tassel and make our bookmark even more beautiful. Tassels are basically attached to a bookmark. So today the bookmark we are making is the bookmark of a floral bookmark. We'll not be adding any colors today, since we'll learn how to add colors to resin in our next live session. So first of all, I'll be putting a leaf in it. I've added this very beautiful leaf in it. So we are just finalizing what design do we like. We'll not directly put the resin on the flower. We are just finalizing what design of resin we like. Whether, make sure you first finalize your design, because once you've put resin on this, you can never change your design again. That is very, very, very difficult job to do. So now that I finalized my design, I'll put off my flowers. And then we'll take this mold and we'll put a very, very, very thin layer of resin on our mold. Like this. A very thin layer. We'll just spread it over. Do not fill your whole mold, or else pressing your flowers into the mold will be a very difficult job for you. A very difficult job. So I have created a very thin layer over here of resin. Now this is where I'll be adding my flowers. Now why didn't I add my flowers earlier, and why am I adding them now? Because if I would have added my flowers earlier, my flowers would have settled themselves on the very lower layer of the resin. But we didn't want that. We wanted a very beautiful effect where we get our flowers in between of the resin. Now, I'll be placing my flowers on this resin. Like this. Make sure you use your tweezers. Do not use your gloves. Tweezers are a very affordable alternative, or else I also have some of the silicone brushes here. If you want to invest one time, make sure you buy silicone brushes, because tweezers, when you use tweezers, it gets resin stuck on it. You need to make sure that as soon as you use them, you clear off the resin over it. In case of silicone brushes, when we put silicone brush into resin, after some time, after like 24 hours, it will dry upon it and we can clean our resin very easily. How are you doing? So, okay. So now we'll push this leaf below and we'll adjust this. Today, I'll also be adding some parts of this very beautiful golden foil. At times, we even mix the gold foil directly into resin and put it. But because I'm making a floral bookmark, I don't want my golden foil to get on the flowers so that it ends up looking very shabby and very unmixed. So I'll be adding it on separately. like this. The golden foil makes our resin art looks very beautiful. Now that I've added all the things I want, I'll take my resin back again. But when we're done with half of it, make sure you take your isopropyl rubbing alcohol spray and spray it from a very far distance on it. Now, isopropyl spray helps when we keep our resin drying for 24 hours. Isopropyl spray is the one thing that helps preventing bubbles. Because resin is something which is a lot of bubbles while we mix it. We need to make sure that our final product has got no bubbles into it. Now I've added the top layer of resin on it. All the people watching me live on Instagram, make sure you download VShow Live app so that you can directly talk to me, chat with me and ask your resin doubts directly to me from my live. Now that we have added a second layer of resin, now what we can see is our flowers have displaced. We'll take a silicone brush or you can even use your tweezers and we'll replace them to their respective positions. And there you go. Now we can see on the edges of the mold, we have some resin scattered. I'll take this flat brush, this flat silicone brush, and I'll clear off the resin from the mold. I'll clear off all the excessive resin. And one thing I would again and again remind you, make sure you take the proper 3 precautions before using resin. That is gloves, second is apron, and third one is the mask. Your family might think that you've become a surgeon, but tell them no, you've not. You've just become a resin artist. Now, the third step is we can see a lot of bubbles. For this, we will be using a lighter. You can even use a blowgun. So with lighter, I'm going to slowly just move it over my resin art and we can see how crystal clear is it becoming and how clearly we can see our resin art. Make sure you don't take your lighter and just put it on one position for 2 minutes, then to next. In that case, you'll end up burning the flowers inside. You'll end up burning the gold foil inside. And we do not want that. And we are done with our bookmark. Now we need to keep it in a very isolated area, and that too we have to cover it and then keep it in a very isolated area for 24 hours. So make sure you do not touch your resin art before 24 hours. For example, if after 8 hours I'll touch my resin art here or here to just out of curiosity, that has it dried or has it not. The place where I'll touch it, that place will never dry again. And then I'll have to again put another layer of, a thin layer of resin over it. And then I'll have to again wait for 24 hours. So make sure that you do not touch your resin art before it is fully cured. Now we have to cover it. What will you cover it with? So you can either cover it with a box, any bowl you have inside your house. One thing I would suggest is, I hope you've seen the food covers. The food covers are in an arc shape and they even have places for air to come inside. So if you are interested in investing in that too, make sure you buy them so that they are not completely air resistant, or else they'll end up having bubbles in them. Although we've sprayed rubbing alcohol and we've made sure there are no bubbles that come into them, still we'll try our best so that in only one attempt we get our final product perfectly. Now let me just switch my camera. Hi guys. So now I'm here. If you guys have any doubts regarding the resin art we've made, any doubt, any step you want me to repeat after completion, So the prices for bookmarks that are currently going on in the resin market can vary up to 220 rupees to 320 rupees. Because I'll tell you, the flowers we've put in, a single flower, if you'll go and buy, you'll get a packet of such 25 flowers for around ranging from like 300 to 400. So one flower will cost you around 25 to 26 rupees. So, were the flower? No, those were real flowers which were dried, including GST. Yes, including GST. And if you're selling it online, make sure you do not include the shipping charges. If you're including shipping charges, make sure you increase the price. But for small things like bookmarks or dog tags, I would advise that you separately take the shipping charges and do not include it in the product prices. Make sure you take the complete product price, because resin is something which is not very cheap or inexpensive. Resin is very expensive, and so are resin flowers. Resin, I'll show you. The flowers that we've put into this, can we use any flower? You can use any flower. You can grow your flowers at home, but make sure you dry them first. So I would recommend you do not dry the flowers at home and you buy them from outside, because these flowers are dried through a chemical. So when you will dry your flowers at home inside a book, like you put in a book for a week or so, and when you'll take out the flower will get brown edges, and it will also somehow end up losing its color. And we do not want to compromise on the quality of the product we provide. So make sure, so either if you want to dry your flowers at home, make sure you buy the silica powder and dry your flowers in them. Silica powder will be a one-time investment, and then you can we put glitter in resin? Absolutely, you can put glitter in resin. In coming live sessions, I'll teach you how to put glitter, how to make an ocean, how to give an ocean effect in resin, how to put a photo in resin, everything. So this is a flower box. This flower box will cost you around 250 something, but these flowers have big flowers, and these are not of the quality of the pressed flowers. Pressed flowers are pretty expensive because they require higher quality of chemicals to dry them. Yes, I have. Any other questions? So, if I talk about, the way you've been asking for the prices, if I talk about the cost calculation of resin, when we buy a single bottle, the bottle I have is for 1000 grams. And when you calculate your cost, make sure the amount of resin that has been used in your resin art, you calculate the price for that. Then you add in the price of the flowers or every single material that has been used in your resin art. Then calculate the packaging prices. Then make the total actual cost for that. Then add your profit into it. Resin art is something which has like a lot of profit. People they make resin art for 300 or something, and they sell it straight away for 1000. So resin art is one of the most profitable business going on right now. And even the one advice I would give you, do not include shipping charges for small products. But whereas when you're making big products like art palettes or resin journals, which we will be doing in the further live sessions, do include your shipping charges in those. You've explained everything very well. Thank you so much, Neha. So any other doubts and questions you have regarding resin art, please do let me know right now. And do leave your remarks in the comment section too. Any other questions, guys? I'll make one, sure. What will you make next? In the next session, first of all, we will be doing the do's and don'ts of the resin arts, and next up, we'll be making a coaster, wherein we'll learn how to mix glitter, how to mix gold foil into the resin and then add it to the mold, and how to mix colors into resin. And we'll make a very beautiful and very colorful coaster out of it. And next live will be, I guess, day after tomorrow around 6:30. 6 or 6:30, so make sure you're ready for it. Have you done graduation in home science? No, I've not done graduation in home science. Can we now in resin? As in the letters you're asking, NAV letters, right? Just tell me that you're talking about. Yeah, pretty girls don't do that. Okay. You want to preserve her in a resin, so it was a good session, Ishika. Thank you so much. So any other questions or queries? Also guys, make sure to download visho.live app and make sure you spread a word to your friends to download this app. It's a wonderful app, and if you like my Resin Art session, encourage your friends, encourage your family to join this live session and learn Resin Art, because Resin Art is one thing that can actually help you open a business right at your home. This is one of the most sellable art you can ever have. Selling a painting can be a bit hard, but selling resin art cannot be hard at all. Loved the session. Thank you so much, Neeta. Any other? Also, people watching live through Instagram, make sure next time you download the visho.live app and join the live through the app itself, so that you can also chat with me and ask your resin doubts. Any other questions, guys? Okay, so I see that there are no further questions. So let's call it a day and make sure, and yes, we will relieve this resin art in our next live session. We'll demold it and we'll see how beautiful it comes out to be. So stay tuned for the next live session and do not miss the next live session if you want to see the final product of it. And even in next session, I'll even teach you how to make a tassel, a very small tassel. You can make a tassel within a snap of your fingers, and that is such a cute thing that I'll teach you to make within seconds, and you can attach it to your resin. It looks very beautiful. What is a tassel? I'll just see if I have one right now. So tassel is like, a group of threads that we can attach to a bookmark. And even in a bookmark at the top, there was a hole given. So we can very easily attach that tassel to a bookmark, and you can carry that bookmark very easily anywhere. Okay, so I have one right here. So I've made this on my own. This is a very cute tassel that we can actually attach to a bookmark. So I'll even teach you how to make this one, so that when we put a bookmark inside a book, we have a thread outside and we can straight away turn onto the page that we've put our bookmark onto. I hope you're clear what a tassel is right now. Any other questions, guys? Any other remarks? Anything? I hope you're clear with all the fundamentals of resin that I have explained today. Okay guys, so once again a reminder, encourage your friends and families to download this app and join my live day after tomorrow around 6 or 6:30, and we'll demold our resin art that we've made today, and we'll make many more beautiful resin arts. And even if you don't want to open a business or something, these bottles are pretty bigger ones. You even get smaller ones, and you can create a very beautiful handmade gifts for your friends and families. So stay tuned if you want to learn how to make those very beautiful gifts, and join my next live. Make sure to download this app, and see you later guys. Bye. Signing off.